What's good, everybody? Yo, we just reached 2,800, trying to get to 5,000 before the end of the year. But today's video, like I said, I want to talk about how did I break into tech and what was some of the resources that I had to utilize. Okay, so we're gonna start off like this. Now, once I decided to go into tech, I did a lot of research. I watched a lot of videos to try to figure out, which realm do I want to get into, because tech is very vast and large. You have security, software security. That's basically, people trying to hack into hospitals, steal their data, hit them with ransoms. Yes, they will literally steal patients' identities, informations, like all their sicknesses, whatever, and they will hold the hospital on ransom and say, hey, until you guys give us $20 million, we will shut down your whole entire system, which means people will die. The hospital will 9 out of 10 file and for bankruptcy and get destroyed, or you guys can just pay us up. What do you want to do? Or we'll sell the data and information to someone else. And, either the hospital has to pay for it, or they will have people do investigations and stop it and track the people and stop them. Then you also have cloud engineers. Cloud engineers is whenever you're using the internet and it's going here and there and you're clicking different things, that whole construct, that whole system, somebody has to build it. And that is within the cloud. Okay. The next thing is so much project managers, the person that say, hey, how are we going to do the infrastructure? People that upkeep with meetings and say, hey, we need to stay on time with this. There's so many different jobs. Now, what I found to myself, which, correlates with my personality and my skill set, is talking. I love talking to people. I love breaking down information and making certain things that sound complicated or feels complicated into a simple format and simple way of processing information. I chose tech sales. Now, once I decided that I wanted to go towards tech sales, now I had to figure out what medium would I have to go towards and to learn the information, right? Because tech sales, there's so many different terminologies and understanding. Whenever you go towards a business, you have to understand that new language. There's terms and words that people are going to be utilizing every single day, and you need to understand what it is. Like churning, right? What is churning? Churning is when someone pays for something and then they no longer see the value or they can't afford it, so they let it go. Now you no longer have that business. That is churning. SQL, qualified leads, all these different type of things. Once you find someone that is interested in the product and ready to spend real dollars, what is that terminology? Conversion rates. Once you call someone on the phone and they're ready to go, like they're interested, you haven't sold them yet, but they may purchase. Now you have to figure out, passing them to account executive. Account executive has to do their role and everything. What is an account executive? What is a SDR? What is a sales manager? All these different terminologies, all these understandings of the whole organizational structure has to be understood. And then there's so many different type of sale procedures, right? Some companies want you to be extra informative and breaking down information. Some people just want you to pull in data, information, stay consistent with the individual on the other line. And if they're ready to purchase the product, then they'll purchase the product. My choice after searching multiple different, online courses and different things like that. And some of them, they'll charge you $5,000, $10,000, $30,000. Now, the one that I found that was recommended by Cyrus, right? It was CourseCareers. Now, the beauty of CourseCareers is it only cost me about $400. I think I paid like $450 because Cyrus had like a discount, right? So I only paid like $400 something dollars. And I did the course, and I also got a certificate. Now, this course isn't just a regular, just watch these videos and you're done. No, this was literally a curriculum. You go through the curriculum. There's each class. There's many little broken books. There's tests that you have to go through each module. Now, I know what you guys saying. I don't like school. It's too much. No, there's people that literally passed it and got their certificate within like 3 days. which is very possible, right? Because we binge watch and watch shows that take like 12 hours to watch. Some of these modules don't even take an hour, don't even take 30 minutes to get through, right? It's basic questions like, hey, what would you do to a person that was being disrespectful? Would you fight with them back? Would you be polite and tell them, well, hopefully next time? Like, there's certain questions like that. Then there were books that we had to understand and learn, right? And not necessarily like, oh, I have to understand this whole book. No, what is the breakdown of this book, right? How to win friends and influence others, right? How can I be warm? How can I make a person like me? How can I not be annoying on the other line, right? And you know, it would ask you like, hey, in the book of friends, how to influence others, right? Um, how would you speak to someone? How would you do this? Would this work in your favor? Would that work in your favor? And then after you go through all the module, you finally get in order, like you get to the pre-test. And the pre-test is just going to ask you a couple of questions, maybe like 10 or 12 questions that would be on the test just to see how well you'll do. So what I did, I took that pre-test like crazy. And then I understood that I was able to take the test twice for free, because if you fail the class in the test twice, you're still able to take the test, but then you'll have to pay for it. Okay, I didn't want to pay for it, so this is what I did. I went through the all the modules, and then there was a module where they had the sales terminologies, right? The sales development representative terminologies. I studied that through and through until I knew it like the back of my hand. Once I understood all the terminologies, the next thing was go through the modules until I got 100% on each of them. I didn't have to go through every part. I just had to go through the test part after each module. After each module, there's like 3 or 5 tests that you have to go through. I went through them. And then once I felt like, okay, I'm okay, because even if I failed the first one, I can come back and take it. So that's what I did. Hurried up, took the test, boom, I failed. I got like a C or D. I forgot what it was, but I did fail. Um, and I was like, okay, perfect. I failed. Now I know what I have to do in order to prepare for the test. And some of them were like synonyms and antonyms, and just to understand, because you're not only going to be on the phones, you're also going to be typing on the keyboard. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to send emails out to individuals. People will be emailing you saying, "Hey, look, I received your email, which may be an advertisement or whatever it may be. I'm not able to respond. Please email me. This is the best way that you'll be able to email me. Or I have pictures and information that I like to send to you." Right? You have to be able to type it in correct spelling and manners. So those are some of the things that you're going to have to go through as well within the course careers. So I took that, and I learned a lot, right? Super grateful, super happy for all the information that I learned. Now I received my certificate. It's a plus. In the course career community, there's also individuals that will help you to learn more and to get on the job search. Because I will be honest, you're not about to do this course and the next thing that you know, you're going to have opportunities and people throwing jobs on your lap. No, you're not tested yet. We don't know if you're going to show up to work. We don't know if you truly understand the information that we need. We don't know if you can articulate yourself. We don't know if you can handle the pressures of people cursing you out, hanging up, not responding, people telling you that I will set up a meeting with you, and you have 5 and 6 people telling you this, and all of them bail. Do you have the mental fortitude to keep moving forward? And most people don't. Are you able to adapt quickly? Right? Every job is different. Every opportunity is different. You're going to hit roadblocks and people are going to ask you questions. How fast can you hear this information and articulate yourself to make the person still interested, or show them something that they didn't notice previously about the company to tickle their interest? So I studied my butt off. I watched videos of other individuals that were able to break into tech. I applied to some jobs, and it's almost as if you have to do the job in order to get the job. Okay. I applied to some jobs and it was difficult. And I just remember I saw some advertisements on TikTok, and it was a guy and he was speaking about, hey, we help individuals break into tech. and you don't have to pay until you get a job. And I'm like, what? This is real? So I'm like, what do I have to lose? I don't have to lose nothing. I can't lose. So that's what I did. I applied. I applied for it because they're going to interview to see if you're serious, right? Because once you're serious, they have to put all your information in the computer, and then they're going to have to find someone in order to like apply for all these jobs for you. So I did it. Not only did I have to do that, they prepare you for the interview as well, and it was difficult to say the least, right? Um, because when it comes into the interview process, it's not like a 9 to 5 typical job. This is different. Um, the moment that a company says yes to you and you're on salary, and so much has to get done, so much paperwork has to get done once they take you in. They'll send you the computers, you know what I'm saying? Like some companies, they actually give you $100 every month so you can go grab food and order food to your home. Some companies will also give you money to pay for your gym. You know what I'm saying? Some companies will also pay for your internet so you can have fast and speedy internet as well. This is a real deal. So the interview process isn't just one, hey, we're going to talk to you over the phone or one Zoom call. No, it goes into 4 to 5 interviews. Now, the reason why I want to do this video so you can understand what it takes and how much work you have to do. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's not too hard if you're serious and committed. If you're a person of your word and you're serious and committed, then it's not too hard. It's not too difficult. I'll be honest. But if it's been a couple of years since you've been out of school and, you know, you haven't studied in a while, it's going to hurt. You're going to have growing pains. And that's what's going to happen. You're going to go through some growing pains. The first few days, me studying and trying to remember the terminologies, I was hitting, roadblocks. I was like, damn, why can't I remember this? This is so simple. Why can't I remember it? And I just had to stick in there, go in and practice. The third day, I'm like, what the heck? I could remember this? Like, what the heck? What was going on the previous 2 days? But that's just studying, right? You're not going to get the information. Your brain, your neurons are going to have to get charged up again. And the only way that can happen is consistently reading and learning. That's why people play chess. That's why people are always reading, to keep those neurons and those parts of our brains and our memory cortex strong, right? So to go on, they prepared me for the interview process. I created a video where I had to say, hey, hello, my name is Steven, and this and this and da, 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 da. I would love to work for your company. I have these such and such skills, and I'm so intrigued about your company, and I would love to have an opportunity to speak to you, right? They would send it out. They would send out multiple applications, and I would get a number of callbacks, right? So this is how it would go. You'll get the first call. Hello, is this Steven? Yes. Hey, this is such and such from the whatever. I am a recruiter. That's what you hear first from the recruiter. The recruiter is the first person that's going to check you out to see if you're legit. They're going to ask you a number one question. So, hey, why did you apply? They want to hear if you can articulate yourselves well enough to understand, like, why did you apply? My key thing is, hey, I saw your company. It made sense. It aligns with my beliefs, and I love what your company does, and I would, love to be a part of it. So why did you want to get into sales? Well, I've always been able to sell things. Even when I was in elementary school, I worked with the candy and the chips, and I would sell to students, and I had fun and I loved it. And as I grew up, I was in this field. So I would go into that conversation. So tell me about yourself. What do you like to do? Well, I like photography, videography. I love hanging out with friends. I love movies, spending time with family, enjoying life, so on and so forth. So once you know what? Okay, we like you. Cool. Then you get to the next part, right? The next part may be a phone call, or 9 out of 10, it'll be a Zoom. They'll say, hey, we'll reach back out to you. You will receive a email link. And with that link, click that link. You'll see a Zoom link. Be prepared, or a Google Meet. And yes, we'd like to interview you. You'll speak to one person. They'll ask you almost the same exact questions. Now, this next one would be more, how does he look? Does this person look presentable? right? Does this person looks crazy or on drug, or are they a scam artist from another country? Those are what they're looking for. But typically, they're going to ask you the same exact questions. The next interview would be more with the sales manager, whoever is like a part of that team. They're going to interview you. They're going to ask you the same questions again, but they'll be a little bit more in depth. How do you handle challenges? What are some of the things that you go through? Explain to me some of the things that you have gone through. Then once you're done with that, you get the final interview, and they're gonna want you to sell them their product, knowing that you don't have the entire system of how to sell, but they just want to see your confidence, your resilience. Are you gonna be too pushy? Are you gonna break under pressure throughout this time? And if you're capable of keeping your frame and doing well, now you made it into the pot. Now within the pot, they're going to say this person has more experience than them. This person has worked in the field, and this person is new. What do we need in our organization right now? What part of the puzzle do we need currently? And if you fit, then you'll have an opportunity. Or let's just say that other person that has a lot of experience and they're looking for a job, they may not stick to that job, right? They may have a couple of other jobs lined up. And if it falls through with this person, with that person, you're still hungry and you're consistent and you show that hunger and ambition, then you get the job. Okay. So me, I literally did about 5 or 6 interviews. Okay. I received about 3 to 4 offers. The first offer, was from, I don't want to say their name because they're a pretty good company, but just the salary wasn't high enough for me. But a good company. I told them no, but they was like, hey, if you ever change your mind, please feel free to reach out to us and we'll love to give you an opportunity. But the reason why I chose the company that I went for was the salary was about 80K towards 100,000. Um, and it was pretty, like, what they offered, it made a lot of sense, right? People could utilize it and it helped out companies, right? And once I saw that, I said, you know what? I like to work a part of your company. Plus the manager, Taylor, amazing dude. He was like, hey, look, although you're wet around the ears, you've never been a sales development representative, but the way that you're able to articulate yourself and the warmth that I feel from you, like, you're easy to talk to and connect to. I would like you a part of the team. Everything else I can teach you. I can teach you sales. You already have the other part, just connecting with individuals. You have that. And I can't teach people how to connect with other people's, but I can teach you how to train. And he did that. My first month, once I was able to like make calls, I'm not gonna lie, I made a pretty penny. I made more than 5 grand, more than 6 grand, more than 7 grand, more than 8 grand, more than 9 grand, more than 10 grand. My first month. I'm talking about I was just training for the first week. It was like intro. The second week, he was like, hey, let's get you on the call. And then, my third week, it was all in. Salary was like not what I would like to have, but I'm talking about the commissions were out of this world. Okay. So I just want to keep this video where we're at right now, because I really just wanted to give you the introductory of, how I broke into becoming a sales development representative. I will create another video to give you a breakdown on how it was working for the company, how much I got paid, how were the commissions broken down, okay? And then if you stay and tag on a little bit longer for the next video, I will break down on what made me a successful sales development representative, working as a sales development representative for the very first time. And I will give you gems that you will not get on other YouTube videos, because trust me, I searched my butt off, and a lot of people just give you the surface information, and it takes more than that, right? It takes a lot more than that. And I had to learn it, and I had to be, I had to stick and be a man to my words. Everything that I said that I was going to do during an interview, that's what made me successful as a sales development representative. Okay. So this is part one into my journey as a SDR, a sales development representative, or you can say BDR, business development representative. And look for part two. Thank you.